I think this is a good game to start with, and his team, I mean, as you can see, Pink Diamond, Steph, a ton of shooting, and Wilt, you clearly see the strategy here. He's got a ton of shooting, and he's got Wilt, who is just OD. Obviously, Steph's up 600K plus card. Wilt is very expensive in his own right. Very good, very expensive team, no doubt about it. Not going to sit here and say my team is bad. I mean, I got Russ Şengün, Anthony Parker, Kiki Vandeweghe, ML Carr, like a very good squad in my own right, but was definitely going to do the best we could to win this game because I did not want to lose to this dude. Immediately going downhill with Russ, first possession, he's X-switching. And you see with the X-switch immediately, he's going to try to basically switch every single screen if I'm running a pick and pop. So got to use that smartly if I use the screen. But we'd green the first layup, attacking his Korver in isolation, and just a nice move by Şengün, who's bigger and better than Korver when it comes to the inside, obviously, by far. And do a nice job to start us off in the game. Good defense here as well. Staying between Wilt and the basket, that's the most effective way to stop a guy like Wilt, and we do a really good job of it there. Kick to the corner, Anthony Parker wide open three, and that's an incredible start. 5-0 start. Not doing anything too risky, just trying to stay in between Wilt and the basket. That's the biggest key with a guy like Wilt, because when he gets position on the inside like that, he hits a free dunk every single time. He's just unstoppable. I mean, you see his Wilt is scoring 35 points a game, 85% for the field. Like, he is playing through Wilt Chamberlain and how overpowered Wilt Chamberlain is, and understandably so. Now, the problem that he does have is that despite all the incredible shooting he's got on the court, and I'm sure he had very good badges on those guys as well, at the same time, they're not elite defenders. So he's in a position, and that's a great strip, by the way, manually right there as well by me, stripping the drop step. You can do that if you time your X tap at the right time when somebody is drop stepping. And we do that right there and get ourselves a turnover, which is beautiful. But again, like I said, he doesn't really have the defense that he needs at a high level anyway to counteract, I feel like, Russ at the most super effectively anyway. So we're going to do our best to take advantage of that as the game progresses. Push, pop, and Kiki. It's not really open. Try to reset some offense. Don't have much open here. Just going to attack at Steph there. Go to the rim, and he helps back out with Wilt. Really probably didn't need to do that, but he didn't want to give up a corner three to Kiki, and I was pretty set in my ways. I was going up with Russ, and Russ does finish that layup, which is pretty big. Step in there, that's a elite defensive play. Jumping and timing the jump perfectly with Kiki Vandeweghe, and it results in a dunk on the other end, and an absolutely exceptional start with a quick 11-2 lead. I know off that pick and pop, he's trying to get that shot up with Kiki. He's got all elite shooters with great releases on his court, basically, besides Will, so I know what he's trying to do, and we are not going to let that happen. That was phenomenal defense right there. Unfortunately, Kiki gets downhill to the rim and gets an and one. Not sure where the foul was, to be completely honest on that. And when it happened, I was like, how is that an and one? I really don't know. But he gets himself a dunk, and we'll live with it, right? Like, you're not going to get stops every single play. Just the biggest thing is, and something like this, and it's honestly something that I did not do well in King of the Court this week, is you got to stay composed when the game doesn't go your way. And I didn't do a great job of that in most of my games today. Now, that was an awful pass. Like, truly a really atrocious pass. Just have to be better when it comes to making better, smarter passes than that. A better job there by Şengün, though, or by me, of keeping Şengün low between Wilt. That time I didn't do as good of a job of it, and as you can see, Wilt is OD. Wilt just does what Wilt does, making a tight, and I just cannot ever let him get a good position. Even there, I got a contest, and he still made it. Like, I just got to do the best I can to make Wilt work. And we do a pretty good job of that throughout the game, although he does do a lot of good with Wilt. Wide open three again, Anthony Parker, catch and shoot and green. Again, I apologize for the mediocre quality of this, as well as how it's a little choppy. I just have to watch this game back off my Twitch VOD, which is just not the highest quality you'll ever see, so I apologize about that. He runs right out of bounds with Steph. Just goes too hard at the baseline, doesn't really have any pass, and runs it right out of bounds. I don't know why he did that. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but it wasn't very smart regardless. So we're going to get into our offense again. Attack downhill with Russ. Russ kick to the corner, bailing out of it late. Russ has bailout. Great pass, and that's a wide open three that we missed with Şengün. I'm pretty sure I shot a full bar. I get another one back. He's trying to leak out with Wilt. Shouldn't have leaked out. He gave up a wide open three. If he doesn't leak out manually there, he doesn't give up that three ball, but Şengün doesn't miss twice and knocks that one down. Again, super solid defense here. Just stay between Wilt and the basket as much as possible. I don't want to switch on that. I did not really want Kiki that low, but that's a deep shot, not a super easy shot, and he is unable to hit, which is really nice. And again, running the floor. I'm going to see what we can get going, man. Quick pick and roll here. Quick slip the screen. Şengün inside, going up. I thought that was honestly going to be an and one, but apparently I got blocked from behind. That animation looked like it was going to sneak in, but it did not, and we will take our free throws. So Şengün, of course, misses the first free throw. I love Şengün as a card. I do not love Şengün's free throw release. It gets on my nerves. I don't think it's very good. He's not a super high percentage free throw shooter, although the second one is 80%, is timed better, and we do knock that one down to take an 11-point lead. Again, this is a great quarter against somebody who's I don't like the guy, but he's a good MyTEAM player, and he has had a lot of success in the MyTEAM community in the past and beat a lot of good players. Even this year, I've already seen him beat a few of the top MyTEAM players in the community. So We get ourselves a very nice start to this game, driving the ball here, again, kicking it out because he's helping too much. He's just not playing very good defense. Another wide open three. Don't think that one was a full bar. That one I got a green. I missed it. It's on me. But he gets a pull up in transition and does not hit. And we will go to the second quarter with a 18-7 lead. Now, I will say this. He did not shoot amazing in this game. I thought I played really, really good defense as a whole, but he did not shoot great, and I think that did contribute to the way that this game winds up going. But I feel like we did as best as we could in a lot of ways defensively and made him work for sure and did not allow him to play to what he wanted to do for much of the game. Unfortunately, again, Wilt, we got blessed. I honestly, more than with the way that Wilt is in this game, I low-key would consider that one possession getting blessed. Again, he's just playing too low. I missed another three with Şengün, unfortunately. But again, leaking out with Wilt, and Wilt is too fast. Just cannot consistently compete with Wilt. I mean, literally think he might have scored half his points with Wilt in this game, legitimately. It's very clear what his offensive and defensive strategy was. Going right to this pick and pop again, knowing he's X-switching, I run around his Kiki. That's a nice little deep hash, just taking an angle that allows me to go around Kiki because I have that speed with Russ, and we get to the rim for a dunk. So very, very nice possession there, getting ourselves a bucket. Again, just stay between Wilt and the basket. That's the most effective way to play this pick and roll with Wilt, is try to get through with Russ and then play low with the center to prevent Wilt from getting an easy opportunity. Again, he's going to try to go to this drop step. I'm going to double down this time. He's still going to drop step me, and he's going to go up in my face and make it anyway. Again, Wilt, one of the most unstoppable cards in the game, and there's only so much you can do at the end of the day. So just got to keep that in mind. Driving the ball again with Russ, getting a blow by to the rim, and Russ with a dunk again. That is the weakest link on his team right now, is perimeter defense. And yes, I'm sure he added on-ball minutes to his players and stuff like that. Like he's a competitive player. I'm sure he added badges to his cards. At the same time, Russ with his speed and blow by ability is able to attack downhill and make plays, and he does exactly that. And again, getting himself a dunk, which is an absolute W. Playing low with Şengün, I reached a little early there. He probably would have had that open, to be honest. I know what he's going to try to do here. He's going to come off of this and he's going to try to shoot it, and he got enough room to get it off, actually, which I was a little annoyed about because Anthony Parker got clipped by the screen, but doesn't matter because he winds up missing, so we will live with that. Kiki running down the front lane. Let's just reset. Be patient. Again, if you don't have it, back out. Be patient. Reset your offense. Run something else. Nice little pick and pop here, or pick and roll. I know he's going to X-switch, and he does. I didn't really have anything going there, but he does wind up kind of giving out the back door to ML Carr. Comes down with Wilt to try to play it, and that is a great extra pass and an immediate extra pass too. Really nice job of reading what he did and responding quickly and making the right pass. Icon passing to Alperen Şengün quickly so we could get that shot off. His pop comes open there. I didn't even really ever help off with Anthony Parker. It's just the pick and pop managed to come open against the CPU. Didn't step quite as high as I should have against Korver, and Korver with one of the best, fastest releases in the game. I don't love the card, but he's obviously an insane shooter, so he's able to knock that one down. We managed to get back decently in transition. Again, play low on Wilt, make Wilt beat me from the outside if he wants to, and I play his pass perfectly, got in his passing lane, and Anthony Parker gets a steal that turns into a transition dunk for Russ. Really good anticipatory defense there, putting Anthony Parker in that right position and moving him right before he passed it to get that opportunity. Unfortunately, I didn't play low enough with Şengün there, and he gets another free dunk with Wilt. Again, I literally think more than half of his points right now have been scored by Wilt, and that Wilt card is obnoxious. Hard to play for sure, but still, we're doing the best we can. Dump it inside. Steph is small, and that right there is the one problem with a guy like Steph. Not an elite defender, especially when he's matched up against somebody who's a few inches taller than him, which Anthony Parker at 6'6" kind of is, and we get ourselves a nice little layup on the interior, just attacking a mismatch, making him work. Again, I X-switched that screen that time. Much better job of playing the pop and getting a contest. Just make it hard. You know what I mean? If he greens it lightly on me with Korver, he greens it lightly at the end of the day. Going inside and forcing. That was a force. I did not need to force that. That was probably one of the worst shots I've taken this first half, for sure. Just didn't need to force that inside shot. It wasn't there. It was just a contested shot. And yes, contested layups go in sometimes, but I could have gotten a better shot than I did. He then drops it down inside to Wilt again. And I just didn't do a good enough job of keeping Wilt between me and the basket. Again, that is where Wilt is killing me. His speed is tough to match up with. There's no doubt about it. But could have probably done a better job defensively on that possession than I did. Again, going to drive the ball. And again, going to get inside. That time I was not looking to pass. I knew he was going to go back out with Wilt to Şengün. Wasn't going to swing that ball. Was going to do the best I could to get inside. And we do get ourselves another dunk with Russ. And Russ with 12 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists is hooping. That's the Steph Curry we all know. He can hit shots at a crazy high level. Didn't think I gave him much space, and he greened it anyway. Nice shot. And it's a 10-point game with only 15 seconds left. He's playing super duper low, like so insanely low, daring me to shoot, and I miss anyway. Frustrating. Don't know why it lagged there, but he gets a free dunk in transition, unfortunately, which is a tough swing right there, considering the amount of time left in the possession. Try to drive with Şengün. He gets no animation whatsoever, and it just winds up being one of those possessions where offensively or defensively we give up a bucket, offensively we can't score, and it's tough, but we get a contest in the half. Not an easy shot at all for Steph. I mean, not really even a hittable shot, and we go into half up 8. So I would consider that a successful half, no doubt about it. Could have played a little bit better in certain moments, especially in that second quarter, but I will say this: I am not a lineup glitcher at all. This is the only game today or yesterday, as y'all watch this video again, where I did the lineup glitch. And the reason I did it is because of who I was playing. I was not going to lose to him. I had my lineup set up in a way to counter it if somebody did it to me, basically. And so I decided in this game, I wasn't going to put Jalen Brunson on the court. I was just going to let T-Mac run my PG. Say what you will. It's a little toxic, but people have been doing it to me. And this was the only game in which I actually did it to somebody who wasn't doing it to me, but it was just I did not want to lose, basically. Hit our slip here to Ruland, and we get stripped immediately. He gets a free strip and is out in transition. And at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, we've just blown a 10-plus point lead. Now we're in a tough spot. He gets a dunk with Wilt, and it's a 3-point game. And I'm like, gosh, dang it, bro. Really unfortunate. I don't think Ruland, the pass inside to him there was a terrible pass. And then I pump fake and I get stripped immediately. Like, that's tough. Not a ton you can really do about that. He X-switches the screen again. He does a good job X-switching the right guy onto there, but still Ruland's able to get inside. I remember shooting that very late and being like, very late. I feel like I definitely timed that better than that, but apparently not. At least it still goes in, which is nice. And again, just play low. Don't give up anything easy. Make him work. Stay between him and the basket. That looked like a bump steal to me with Juwan Howard, but he winds up getting to draw on a foul somehow on it, so it is what it is. We shift our subs just a little bit, putting Vince at the 2, Sharif at the 3. Basically, this whole lineup is normal besides T-Mac at the 1. Again, it's kind of toxic. I know 2K needs to remove it from the game like desperately, but in that situation, I just wanted to make sure we got ourselves an opportunity. How Sharif Abdur-Rahim didn't pick that ball up, I have no clue, and he got an open 3 out of it. If he had made that, I might have tilted. I'm not going to lie. I think I yelled when Sharif somehow didn't pick up that ball and he got a wide open 3. But he winds up not scoring it, and it winds up being okay. Again, he's just X-switching every single pick and roll that I use the screen on, so I got to keep that in mind. Again, he does it. You see, he's going to X-switch every single pick and roll that I call a screen on. So rejecting the screen, doing a much better job of doing something different there and not allowing him to just get that immediate switch, and he helps too far off the corner. You can't get away with that on Tracy McGrady. It's just not going to work, and that's a huge opportunity of now we've scored 5 points in a row and extended the lead back to 8. So that's a very, very big start to the half. And man, good job of recovering when it was a 3-point game. So he's in the mid-range with Wilt. Again, going to make Wilt beat me. Just don't give up anything easy. And again, he kind of forces with Korver. I mean, it's an open-ish shot, but he actually misses the tip with Kiki because we got a light pressure contest, which I will not complain about, and it winds up working out in our favor again. So all of a sudden, we're in a nice little spot. A quick slip here. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to play the slip with Wilt, X-switch Wilt onto the center, and so I throw a dot. And look, I'm just going to talk all through my thought process on this play again because I think it's something that looks very simple, but it's not. So basically, Kiki is guarding Jeff Ruland right here. I know with his proficiency and his tendency to X-switch, he is trying to get Wilt onto Jeff Ruland if he can here. I'm calling this pick and roll. Look, I slipped Jeff Ruland early. I know as soon as I quick slip this screen, he is going to click onto Wilt and X-switch Wilt onto Ruland to play this slip. And then the idea is that Kiki recovers to Cliff. But you see how he clicks onto Wilt? As soon as he clicks onto Wilt, I'm like, and this is split-second processing stuff, but it's the important stuff you have to be able to do at a high level to compete online against good players. And I see this, and I'm like, okay, I was looking for this before he did it. It's not something that I recognized literally in a split second. I made the decision. I knew I was going to do this, but basically before he even clicked onto Wilt, because I know he's going to try to switch Wilt onto Ruland. I know Kiki is high. If I can swing this pass over here early, which is exactly what I do, Kiki has no chance of recovering. And it's going to be wide open 3. I mean, you see he's even reaching with Wilt right there as I throw the pass, thinking I'm going to throw the slip. Dotting it over to Cliff and knocking it down. 68 3-ball is more than high enough for me to hit with consistency. Cliff Robinson is a very, very nice card, and he hits the 3-ball. Big bucket right there to extend the lead up to 11. And all of a sudden, we've turned a game that was a 3-point game back into an 11-point game just by a few solid possessions. And again, this is what I did well in this game that I wouldn't say I did well throughout the game, is he gets a backdoor layup with Korver. Like, I'm going to live. That's not a great shot. I feel like it could have pretty easily been contested, and it winds up going in, but I'll live with it. But again, this is what I did well in this game that I wouldn't say I did well as a whole yesterday, but I did well in this game specifically, was I was very patient and I made the right decision. Right there, I don't drop step. I don't want to get stripped on the drop step. I've already stripped his Wilt drop step twice. I know he's going to look for that if I drop step. So I just back down Steph and I go up over him, expecting a good animation and getting one. So very nice. Unfortunately, I manually got stuck there with T-Mac. That was almost bad. I gave a wide open 3 to Steph, and he luckily misses it. It's not an easy shot from deep, even with a guy like Steph Curry this year, but I'm a little surprised he missed it, and I'm happy he did. Passing it into T-Mac, and he sells, so I'm not even going to lie. That was going to miss. I'm almost certain that layup with T-Mac was going to miss. I feel like it's a decent take over Steph, but it did not. I don't think it was going to go in, but he jumped too early with Wilt and plays that himself. And then he stops and pops again with Steph. Another deep 3. And again, Limitless is not super effective right now, so I don't feel like that's a terrible defensive play either. It's not ideal, but I mean, you don't never want to give up a wide open shot to an elite shooter, right? But we managed to make it work, and then we swing it over to Sharif, open 3, not able to knock it down. Again, we got a mismatch though. Sharif matched up against Steph. Steph is a bit too small. Something's going to be open. I throw the right pass, dotting it to T-Mac in the corner. Great pass. Unfortunately, not able to make the shot, but the decision was right, and unfortunately, it turns into a 3 on the other end that he misses. So it winds up, we both miss wide open shots on our respective possessions there to end the third quarter, which is huge. Threw the right pass to T-Mac, missed the shot. He gets out in transition. For some reason, my ruling didn't fill with Glenn. He was guarding him, and then he left him open for 3. Not sure why he did that, but it winds up being an open 3 for him that he luckily misses. And we go into this fourth quarter now with a 13-point lead. Now, I will preface in the fourth quarter. I did at some point, I'll talk about it when I get to it at that point. Again, just remember this dude is one of the most toxic players in the community. I know he's fake stepping, by the way. I know he's fake stepping. Right here, this is something that comp players will do a lot. This rotation right here, where I get a blow by on Glenn Rice, right? So I'm driving the ball. As soon as I see this animation right here, he's behind me. So that's a blow by. I know that I can throw this to Şengün in the corner. I waited a little long to throw it in the corner. I could have thrown it earlier. And by the time I threw the pass, it was a little late. Now he's here with Kiki. This would be a contest if he committed to the contest. But what he's going to do is he's going to step, and then he stops. And he's going to go back to the hash. And he barely moves, but he's backing here so that he can try to play this lane for me to swing the pass, because the expectation is I pass here and then I pass to the hash. That's not what I do. I know what he's doing. And again, if you can anticipate what your opponent is going to do, then you can make reads at a high level that allow you to compete at a high level. And that's exactly what I do here. It's a high level read, just waiting a split second for him to pause with Kiki, just waiting a split second and then putting the shot up and greening it again. And all of a sudden it's a 16-point game. And we're out here hooping, man, very much so. And again, remember, this dude legitimately is the most toxic person that I have ever met in this community. Like, he said incredibly disrespectful stuff about my mom a couple years ago when we played a tournament. Not to mention he did it again after this game yesterday. So he is a real peach. And I was, again, very, 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 very dedicated to beating this guy. This is easily the best I played all day. And if I could play like this all day, I think I would have done a lot better, honestly, in King of the Court than I did. But I was fully locked in and doing a good job here. And so we got the bench, or the starters, back in the game, with the exception of T-Mac at the 2 instead of ML Carr, or at the 3, I should say, instead of ML Carr, to give me a little more offensive firepower. And at this point, it's a 16-point game with 3 minutes left. So it's just, don't do anything stupid. Be patient, have long possessions, and take open shots if you can. And right there, Russ attacking a poor defender and Steph. Again, I know he's got defensive badges on his cards, and I just don't really care, because I feel like we can attack him anyway with a guy like Russ. And Russ has 14 in this game, so has done a very good job of that. Open 3 for Kiki. Not a super duper easy shot. Didn't get quite the contest I was hoping for on it, though, unfortunately, and he does knock it down. And the 3 ball is not what we want to give up at this point with this little time left in the game, but at the end of the day, I will kind of live with it, because we're still up 15. And again, just having slow, patient possessions, getting good shots. Again, we get a great shot there. Şengün off the pop, catch and shoot, green light. And that's basically the dagger at that point. 15 points with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. It's going to be basically impossible. You get it up to 18, it's over. And I know this game is over at this point, so just going to do the best we can to not give up anything stupid, not turn the ball over, and we will be totally fine at this point in the game with a 53-37 lead. So, yeah. We're going to go out here again, just going to attack the rim, and I'm going to take my layup with Mr. Russell Westbrook, and feeling very, very happy at this point, because this is a game that I did not want to lose in the slightest. I would have been very frustrated if I had lost it, to be honest. Again, good defense with Şengün, and we actually go to strip the drop step there, and he finally misses an inside shot with Wilt, and I think the only reason he missed it was because he shot it very early on the layup timing, but still he missed an open layup. I mean, I'm not going to complain. That winds up working out. And then he winds up getting the ball right back anyway, because the game is odd. I'm not really totally sure what happened there or why he got the ball back, because it looked like Steph was the one who tipped the pass out of bounds, but I guess not. And again, he's just going to run around, call his pick and roll with Steph, slip Wilt to the rim, over and over and over again. This is all he did all game, basically. I mean, I literally think he scored half his points with Wilt, at least. And I can see how he has 35 points a game average with Wilt, because he just wants to throw the ball at your center every single play and go up with dunks. With that being said, though, minute 22 left. Knowing that we're up and comfortably at this point, I'll be totally honest with y'all. I was looking for an opportunity to flash pause. I 100% was. And I know that may not be the most mature thing ever, but again, this dude has said some absolutely insane things, just ridiculously toxic. And I try not to respond with toxicity. I know it's not the right thing to do, but at the end of the day, I am far from perfect. So, good defense here again. If he takes a dunk with Wilt, he takes a dunk with Wilt. I don't care. We do our best to contest. He makes it anyway. Whatever. Again, you'll live with that. And it's 52 seconds left. Like, the game is over regardless. So, yeah, I believe this is the possession where I flash pause him, I think, after I score. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like it probably is. Russ just resetting, backing it up, throwing it inside to Kiki. Kiki off the back door, and I'm like, he can hold this pause for a couple seconds. Because, again, I don't have much respect for this guy. And he comes right back and is like, I'm going to stall you. As soon as I pause, he's like, just decides he's going to stall. So he sits here in his last pause. He waits out the next 22 seconds. We can skip forward a little bit. He comes up the court, and he does not score on this possession. Doesn't really matter how. He misses a shot with Steph. Who cares? I don't score either. He runs out in transition, makes or misses a shot. I'm sorry. And then I believe he calls his timeouts here and stalls me completely, if I remember correctly. 12 seconds left. I'm pulling in transition with Kiki. Missing, and yes, he calls his timeouts. Sits through both timeouts entirely. Fully sits through the timeouts, just doing what you'd expect, right? And maybe you could blame me for flash pausing him, right? But I hope y'all can understand why I did with the way he acted. So, regardless, like I've said, this was a beef game to me in a lot of ways. It was a very important game for me to win, and then he wound. If y'all saw the exchange we had on Twitter, it was not great, but. Not my proudest moment to have the level of toxicity that I may have had at times in this game. I think flash pausing him was not super polite, but you don't say bad things about my family and get away with it. And that is exactly what this dude did. So learn from that. Don't be toxic. Don't have that mindset. Please don't. It's just a video game at the end of the day. You don't have to be a weirdo. So with that being said, I do hope y'all learned a lot from this game. I hope y'all enjoyed the video and were able to take some things away from the gameplay. And I will try to do these type of videos throughout the year, albeit without the toxic side of it, but just like these types of educational commentaries, I guess you could call it, where I look at a game I played and talk about what I did well, what I didn't do well, and things we can learn from these videos. So with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.